Good morning. How are you? Jocelyn Briggs here with Boundless Pursuits Coaching and Training. Here we are for another move session. Ready to go and work on upper body today. We're also going to kick off with a little bit of shoulder mobility. Something that I'm working on right now because I have a fussy shoulder. All right, so starting with some, my dad is calling. Starting with some twists and reaches, loosening up the spine, loosening up the hips. Nice, gentle, easy movement to start, gradually increasing the heart rate, gradually increasing the intensity of the movements of your body, which is what the warm-up is all about. It's all about bringing your body from homeostasis, or steady state, the state that you kind of move through life at, bringing it up to sort of a high-intensity state. The warm-up is the transition in between, right? And so the gentler, more conservative you are through that process, right, going from your resting state to, say, like we'll call it working state, the better it feels. The more aggressive you are with that process, the more uncomfortable it feels. So if you're new and you're just getting into, working out, movement, or maybe you're starting to run, know that that's the part that can be the most painful, really, is going from resting state to working state. And so if you can learn to kind of slow that down and allow your body to dictate the pace. One thing I've learned with running, especially in my midlife years, is to start slow, right? And just let my body decide and tell me when I can actually settle into my pace or my effort. So I start ridiculously slow. Sometimes I even walk to start and let my body sort of let me know when it's ready to kind of increase. So same with in here. We start with this low, no impact round as the first round of warm up, and then we will add a little bit of hopping in the second round. That's not, in your wheelhouse yet. That's okay. You can keep it at low, no impact. Really, the point is to help increase the range of motion around the joints, to raise the heart rate so that we can increase the oxygen that's being delivered to the working muscles, because your blood flow increases. There's a little pebble here that I'm stepping on. And so, one of the things that I think is really important, especially as we age, is mobility work, right? So taking your joints through range of motion that it doesn't really experience in your day-to-day activities. It's kind of like, if you don't use it, you lose it. So for example, if you never, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example. Well, I'll use my husband as an example right now, right? So he broke his leg back in April, and so it was held in a, fixed position for weeks, and now his knee won't bend. So yes, he had surgery, and he has a whole bunch of plates and screws and stuff in his knee. But the biggest thing that he's working on right now with his physiotherapist is actually getting that knee to bend again, right? Because he hasn't bent it in weeks. And when we're aging, the stiffness or the range of motion, the loss of range of motion happens a lot more quickly. The two positions that our body's in the most is a seated, right? Because we're always seated doing things, right? Or I shouldn't say we're always, but typically the typical adult is driving at work. Even at home, you're watching maybe TV, or you're on your laptop or whatever, right? There's a lot of sitting, and so your body starts to kind of adjust and adapt to that position, right? So if you think about your seated position, your knees are up, well, so your hip flexors start to shorten, right? And the opposing muscles start to lengthen, right? And then they get used to just being in that position. So if you think about like an elastic band that keeps getting stretched over time, right? And then it doesn't, eventually it doesn't kind of go back, right? Or the opposite, something that never moves becomes more resistant to movement, right? So think about, you know, your hips, certainly, and then the other position we're in is probably laying down, right? Like sleeping. And so our body sort of gets used to being in these positions for a lot of our life, and it eventually just stops being able to do the things that it used to be able to do, right? Like hopping, jumping. I mean, I don't ever hop and jump, right? And so one day I went to do it, actually, I think it was in these workouts, maybe when we very first started them. We were doing some hopping exercises, and I thought to myself, when did I stop being able to jump off the ground? My son actually trains that skill because he's an athlete. And so he's in here, he works on his jumping. You know, so I don't know if anybody's noticed that one day you just can't jump. One day you lose your balance, you lose your agility. And so, what a really long-winded way of me saying basically, mobility is something that you have to practice, and as we age, if we don't practice it, we lose it. And then eventually we get sort of injury issues, or lack of range of motion issues, just simply from not moving our body, right? And so that's what the warm-up is all about, is kind of taking that body through ranges of motion. So for example, this is something I could not do at one time. You know, we're moving our hips, we're engaging our core, our butt kicks. You know, butt kicks is something a lot of people, does your heel actually kick your butt when you do your butt kicks? You know, I'm going to call out some of the ladies in my class right now. I can't tell whether they're doing, you know, high knees. Like, I can't tell what they're doing sometimes because they're not going through that range of motion. For running, especially long distance running, there's very little range of motion. It's all very short movements, small movements, and so things stiffen up, and that's why we do some of the exercises we do in here, because my knees never lift very high, you know, if you're a sprinter. So, you know, pay attention. If your heel is not kicking your butt, which mine probably isn't, that's an indication that these muscles are tight and short, right? My husband, right now, you know, can't lift his heel to his butt on his recovering leg. But it made me think, I bet you a lot of just regular people with non-broken legs can't do that either. It's something you got to work on. There's my lecture for you guys today. So I'm working on learning, you know, some more things that would be advantageous for my body to work on in terms of where I'm experiencing that kind of stiffness. I'm experiencing a lot of it in my spine. My spine doesn't bend. So in the morning I try to do some hip and lower back. And I think we missed one, but that's okay. So we're gonna do some arm stuff in a second. So that's what we're gonna start doing. I don't usually do a lot of upper body stuff. My spine, certainly, you know, I can't put socks on like this anymore. That's hard to do, right? Whereas at one time when you were younger, super easy, right? I don't know. When that stopped, like my spine just does not like to bend, curl. And that's kind of recent as of the last couple of years. So we work on it, right? Because spine compression is probably a big component of why, you know, we have a lot of back issues, hip issues. So what I want you to do, if you have one available, is just grab like a broom. These are just broom handles or curtain rods that are laying around my house. And if you don't have a rod or a pole, that's okay. You can just do this in the air. But we're gonna, now a lot of people, including kids, my kids' age, so teenagers, cannot do this. So this is just about opening up and rotating the shoulder joints. Do about 8, with 3 more. So it's some people you may only be able to come to here. Now my son, who's very, very flexible, can do it with his hands close together. The less flexible you are, the more you have to spread those hands further apart, which is fine. And what we want to do is work towards getting them closer together. Okay, next up we're going to do, we're going to take that rod and bring it down your back, bring the other hand up, and we're just going to pull down on it and stretch out. You can do this with a towel as well. If you don't have a rod, you can do it with a towel. What we want to do, our goal is to be able to get our hands to touch. So as you can see, mine don't. This is my good side. My other side, they're a lot further apart. Okay, and then we're going to do the other side, so bringing this one down, this one up. See, this one's a lot further apart for me, and no irony here that this is my bad shoulder. I say bad shoulder in air quotes because it's not terrible, but it's a weak link. Let's put it that way. It is a weak link in the body right now. And when I identify a weak link in the body, I believe it's a good time to start working on it and see, well, what can we do to change that, right? All right, so you can put, if you were using a rod, you can put it back. The next one we're going to do, I want your shoulders in a 90-degree position, and we're going to rotate them. We're warming up the shoulders. We're not doing a lot of shoulder work today because my shoulder is still that weak link, but the goal is, I was actually looking at videos from a year or 2 ago where I was doing shoulder presses, and I thought, man, I cannot do those now, and so the goal is to get back there. So I think it was 2 years ago. It's only really the last couple weeks that I haven't been able to. And then lastly, if you have a wall nearby, for you to come up against the wall, we're going to do what's called angels. So we're bringing the arms up and down like snow angels, but against the wall. Now don't ever force your shoulder into a pattern that it does not like, right? We're going to keep it happy. Do 2 more. 1 and 2. I actually learned a really cool trick. I wouldn't say it's a trick, but a hack for, see? Oh, there's a bird in here. Honestly, my dog is becoming like a zoo. You never know what you're going to find in here. Okay, I'm just setting up a couple things. We're going to, if you have barbells, you can use them. If you don't, totally okay. Probably, I'm guessing most of you do not. You can use kettlebells or dumbbells. I'm just having a little bit of fun here. We're going to start. How are we going to add weights to this? We tend to do a lot of back strengthening in here on upper body days, and I'll tell you why. Because typically we're short. So much like I talked about, the front of our bodies is typically, This is shortened from sitting. This is shortened from sitting, typing, being on our phones. We're always like this. And the reason why I like to work with a lot of back stuff is to open that back up and strengthen the muscles that don't get a lot of attention, love, whatever. All right, so we're going to start with bent rows from the ground. If you're using kettlebells or dumbbells, you're just going to bend over and pull up right under your boobs, right under where your sternum is, okay? And you're going to pull up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, next one, we're going to do singles. So you can use a kettlebell or a dumbbell. And you're doing it like this. I'm going to actually use the landmine today. Like this. Okay, so 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Feeling the tricep burn on those today. I got up to 9 pull-ups yesterday, and I did 6 this way. I found a trick, not a trick, a hack, to use more back and less shoulder. And that, wow, it made a huge difference. I normally can't do those. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what she said was, and this is a really good reminder when you're doing any upper body or any exercises, period. I think they called this set position, and when we were in personal training school, you bring your shoulders up, back, down. And that's the position you want them in. And so when you're doing pull-ups, we tend to let them stretch out. We want to have them retracted. And what that does is engage more back muscles. Okay, we're going to do tricep extensions and shoulder raises. I lied. We're going to do shoulder raises for this next one. Still trying to work these shoulders even though they're fussy. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next set, we're going to do flies. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's our first set, you guys. I'm gonna have a drink. If you're struggling to get water in, get yourself a fun new water bottle. Whether it doesn't have to be a Stanley, of course. It could be a Yeti. It could be one of those big fun jugs that you get on Amazon. It could be like a fancy glass. Maybe you love pretty glasses, right? Maybe you love drinking out of wine glasses or goblets. Maybe it could be that. Maybe you could have a pitcher. You fill that pitcher of water with lemon, and your goal is to drink that pitcher. Just keep filling up your glass. That works for me sometimes too. Aim for a gallon a day. 3 to 4 liters a day with water or with lemon. Okay, ready? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, remember, shoulders are up, back, down, not hunched up. One of my clients yesterday was like, oh, my shoulder feels really tight. We had done upper body the night before. I have a feeling she was hunching, or she sat funny. Could be either or. All right. So 8 per side. Rows. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Chest is out. 1. chest is out, shoulders back and down, and butt is cocked. We don't want any rounded backs. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. And then shoulder raises. If you happen to remember which one you started with, we're going to do the other one this time. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, that's round 2. It's like constantly these dead leaves are coming in. Like, it's not fall. Why is there dead leaves in the garage? Whew, have your drink. The other tip I have for water today, talking to a client yesterday, our goal is to get her drinking more water. I have like points in the day that, so if you have whatever it is that you're drinking from, like whether it's like a big water well, I like the 40 ounces because they're a liter, right? So you could have half of that, right? Like a 20 ounce, and then you have goals through the day that I'm like, okay, gotta drink this jug by this time. So, and then it's like budgeting. I need to have this much done by this time, so that by 4 or 5 o'clock p.m., anything after that's kind of just gravy. I want to have the vast majority of my water intake done. The other thing is, like, I'll have usually non-caffeinated tea in the evening, and so that counts, right? If it's, as long as it's not caffeinated, it counts as liquid. So if you're not a coffee drinker, you could have 6, 5, 2 more. 2, 1. If you're not a coffee drinker, you could have non-caffeinated tea in the morning. That could be, you know, your morning beverage that counts. Okay? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I was not expecting it to be hot today. I was expecting it to be nice and cool the next few days, because when I looked at the long-term forecast, the temps were kind of down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other side. Wait, I am warm today. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So that is set 1. 3 sets down. We're done. We're going to go on to the next set. We're going to do rows to the side this time. So again, you can do kettlebells or dumbbells. I'm going to do it with the landmine. We're going to do bicep curls with the bar. This is going to look really impressive, but these are just 10-pound plates. I'm just too lazy to. And the bar is not very heavy. It's a really light bar. So we're going to do bicep curls with this. And then we're going to do bent flies. So that's working kind of the back of the shoulder. All right, so we're going to start with this guy. And bringing it up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then other side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really bear down into your core for that. And then you're pulling with your back. We're going into bicep curls. So you can use 2 dumbbells at a time. You can use a barbell. Whatever you have works. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That does not feel good. So it's now we're feeling it here. We have to abort ship on those ones. Okay, and we're going to do reverse flies. So I'll try with these. I don't know. Do 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, that's round 1. So we're going to do 2 more like that. Potentially we're going to ditch these because those are hurting my elbow. Falling apart. I'm always just kind of grateful if it's my arm versus my legs, my hips, right? But it's a pain. I sleep on my side, so sometimes I kind of feel it when I sleep. Anyways, you just kind of keep plowing forward, you guys. That is how you're going to move forward. Like, I think I talked to you guys about this yesterday, but I had this kind of epiphany the other day that sometimes when we're sucking at stuff, there's a tendency to just want to talk yourself out of doing it altogether, right? You're like, I'm just not meant to do this, or this is just not for me, or I'm not good at this. But that in essence is what training is, right? It's getting better at something. It's adaptation. And so when you're not good at something, it's because you're adapting to it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If there's one thing that we as humans are, incredible at, it's adaptation. Like to everything, right? To heat, to cold, to adversity, to all kinds of hardships. We adapt, to changing environments. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do tricep extensions instead of the bicep curls. I'd like you guys to do the bicep curls because the idea was to do biceps and back today. 8. So we're going to do 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then our flies. You know, we adapt to humidity, we adapt to, we are just, that's what we've been doing since the beginning of time, right, is adapting. The problem is our brain and the messages that it sends to us saying, no, you're not good at this, you're not supposed to do this. But the reality is, you're just adapting to it. And you will adapt to it. You just got to keep moving forward instead of retreating back to where you came from, which is what your brain wants you to do, right? But every day that you show up, you adapt a little bit. And in the first 3/4 of the way there, you don't see the adaptations, right? Like you don't notice what's happening. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's what gets in our heads. We don't see the changes happening. Like we don't see the body starting to, you know, adapt. I keep saying the same thing, but it's not visible, right? So remember this book. There's this amazing book called The Slight Edge. I should go back and reread it. And it's all about the small changes that happen that we can't see, that are imperceptible, but they compound over time, and all of a sudden, you know, so dandelions are a great example. You pull them all out and you go to bed and they're there the next day. That's not a good example at all, but that's a good example of perseverance. Dandelions are the best example of perseverance if I've ever seen, or cobwebs. Cobwebs are another great, because they come back like that. Anyway, okay, last set of these. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The example that always sticks out in my mind from that book is this plant growing at the side of a pond. I don't remember what the kind of plant was, but essentially it doubled every day. So, you know, at the beginning it's very tiny, it doubles. You don't see it's imperceptible. Second day it doubles. Compound interest is the same, right? That whole thing where I can give you a penny a day, or I can give you $1 million, which would you take? You take the penny a day because at some point the compounded aspect of it far exceeds the million. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the patience that they require, but I always have this visual of this plant doubles, doubles, doubles. At some point it starts to kind of emerge in the pond, and then at some point it's 50% of the pond, and the next day it covers with the pond because it doubles, right? And so that's what I always remember. But for the first quite a while, you cannot see that happening, that process happening. And then it feels like it happens overnight, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And here's the funny thing is, I remember training for Cocodona and putting in the training, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it's just nothing's happening, right? I'm like, I'm just getting more tired, I'm not getting more fit, and then all of a sudden, I was like, I think I'm really fit. When did that happen? And it happens from the relentless perseverance and just showing up when there's really no reason to, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, he who shows up is always rewarded. Always rewarded. All right, what do we have for time? Okay, we're gonna go to some core work now. Just gonna move this stuff. My back is feeling nice and worked. Hopefully yours is too. We're going to work our way through some core stuff. So I will grab my mat. Actually, I want to try something. I don't think that my shoulders will be able to do this. Yes, they can. All right, so for you guys who probably don't have a landmine, what I'm going to encourage you to do is have a weight, and you're going to go like this with the weight. Okay, kind of like you're drawing a rainbow. Okay, and I'm going to do it with the landmine. We're going to do 10. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The other thing you can do is if you do have a barbell, you can kind of stick it in the corner and do that. All right, let me grab a mat. I'll use my little cut up one here. Start with our Pilates 100s because you know we got to do those. Okay, ready? So remember to make sure that your back is pressed firmly into the ground. That is the most important part. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. 2, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop it. 4, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Drop it. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Drop it. 2, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hugging it in. We're going to do 50 bicycles, 50 Russian twists. These are my favorite sets, you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then 50 Russian twists. Ready? I'm not. Not ready yet. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I lost track. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if that was 40 or 50, but my core feels like it was 50. Okay, so we're going to go back to our twists. So again, if you have a weight, what you're going to do is take the weight and you're just going to kind of draw a rainbow. So you're going to start with your hip and bring it over to your other hip and then back over to your other hip. And then we're going to do another set of core. My core is feeling that. We're going to do another set of Pilates 100s and we're going to do a plank set to finish. All right, but first we got to do these. I'm not super hard. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. I love when my core is really worked. Okay, we're going to do another set of Pilates 100s. So there's one for February, and then we'll do our June ones now. We did our January, February, June sets. One of the sets, 1 month, was plank, so we're going to do that to finish off. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep it here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hugging it in. And we're going to roll over and do our plank set. So we're going to start with my least favorite, which is plank punches. So coming into a plank, you can do plank from knee or from feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, plank, knee dips. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to do side plank lifts next. 10 per side. Man, I'm feeling it. Okay, ready? So coming, you can do this from your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Other side. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, we're going to do plank. Actually, let's take a break. First, we're going to do 1. What do you call these? Bird dogs. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and last 20 is plank marches. Okay, coming into plank and lifting just an inch or two off the ground. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, last 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you are done. I am done. And we crushed that, and it crushed us. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have an awesome day.